Hello and welcome back to another episode of Otafu Susume, or Recommendations for My Otaku Spouse. I'm Wes.
And I'm Jen.
So let's get started. We are here with part 3 of our Spring 2020 Anime Spectacular, where Jen and I each recommended each other one new anime from the Spring 2020 season, and we also got a recommendation from you, the listeners. We've already reviewed Jen's recommendation as much as we could, and your recommendation, so now it comes down to my recommendation. And I recommended to Jen My Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, or Otome game no Hametsu frag shika nai Akyaku Reijo ni tensei shite shimatta.
Or the English nickname, which is Bakarina.
Or the Japanese nickname, which is HameFura.
Yes.
So there's all sorts of ways to call
names.
it.
How should we... I in general, we've been referring it to HameFura, because
Yes.
we watched it in Japanese.
Yes.
And I think we should refer to the character as Bakarina.
I mean, she doesn't have another name.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So,
what was this anime about?
well, we briefly touched on it in the recommendation episode, if I remember right.
Yeah,
and
but
that there was a strange boom in villainous noble daughter anime / manga. Not anime yet, but manga and light novels.
Yes.
Just out of nowhere, all of a sudden, there was like half a dozen of them. Because one must have gotten popular, and then as is the way, more came out. And me being me, I find weird things and read them. And I tried a few of them, and some of them were garbage, and some of them weren't. But this one really struck a chord with me, and I really liked it. And so when I saw it had an anime coming out, I knew I had to recommend it to Jen. But it is about a girl, high school girl, who is a dating sim fan.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say she was that into them, but her friend is.
Yeah,
and so she plays them for her friend.
True, yeah, she likes talking with her friend about it. And then she goes off and gets hit by a truck. Truck comes gets her, and she wakes up as a 6-year-old noble's daughter in a mystical land that's not quite entirely Europe, and is also from the last game she played. But
and then she realizes that she's in the game, maybe, or in another world that's based on the game, or it's not really clear.
The problem is, of course, her character has nothing but bad ends. And so how is she going to prevent that? Because she doesn't want to be in a bad end.
Bad ending. Don't directly translate. Bad ending.
I mean, if it's become the term among those types of games.
Bad endo, but it's direct translation.
Yeah, but we were talking about this the other day. New game has become okay terminology, despite the fact that it's kind of on the nose.
Anyway, we're getting off the subject.
We are.
So all routes lead to doom.
Yes.
However, all routes do not lead to doom.
I mean, they were going to.
But they weren't.
They were going to.
Okay, so that's the first thing that I twigged about this series is she's like, oh no, I'm the villainess, and if I trigger all these flags, I'm going to either be killed or be thrown out exiled out of the country and like probably starve.
Yes.
So how do I tackle this issue? And the problem is that only 2 of the boy characters, if the quote-unquote hero of the story dates either of them, then she gets her bad ends. Otherwise, nothing really happens to her because she's not really involved in the story that much.
That's true. I don't think she goes into what the results would be if the main character, not Bakarina, but the main character of the video game goes for Nicole. I don't think I remember her going into... I think she does,
because the what's it called? The love... what's it called when you're up against... when you're fighting somebody for love?
Rival,
thank you. The rival character in Nicole's storyline is the little sister.
Yeah, but how would that affect her?
It doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. But
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't remember her going into what the endings would be in that one.
I think she says just that he either decides to stay with his little sister or doesn't.
Oh, because I remember she does call out Alan's endings, because that's the whole one that's tied up with Mary Hunt.
Yes.
And she's like, this is garbage. Why does she always end up happy whether it goes either way? And yet every ending involving me is horrible.
Exactly. That's what I mean. So in this series, in the video game world, there are 4 guys, 4 love interests. There's the main heroine, and then there's the 3 rival characters, who's Katarina, Mary, and I didn't write the other one's
Sophia.
name. Sophia.
The younger sister.
Yes.
Quick question between us.
Okay.
Are we doing spoilers?
No.
No spoilers.
No major spoilers.
Okay.
Yes. This is to encourage people
to watch it.
To watch
/
it.
read it.
Yes.
Yes.
So when she's growing up, with the first 4 episodes maybe are all about her
as a child, meeting the other characters,
yes,
setting the cast,
and trying to work out how to not die. But that's the thing I'm saying, is that 2 out of the 4 characters don't actually lead to bad endings, and so I don't think you can really call this series Hametsu Flag Shikanai.
But it is called that.
I know, but it is called that. That was just one thing, because it promises one thing and it delivers something else.
All routes lead to doom, Jen.
So funnily enough, actually, I was annoyed by the first 4 episodes at first.
Okay.
Because, like I said, this show, 1, promised me that she was going to have a lot of trouble with tackling death flags. And 2, it promised me that she was going to have to tackle these death flags in school. Now, 1, she pretty much resolves a large number of the death flags very quickly. And number 2, she isn't in school for the first 4 episodes. And so I'm like, when are they going to get to school? What? But looking back on the series, those first 4 episodes were also my favorite.
Well, they use it to introduce the cast.
Yes.
As children. And if you don't like it, there's a spin-off series where when she goes to the other world, she takes the place of 16-year-old Bakarina.
But that's a manga, and I don't know if that's been released in English.
Well, Volume 1 just came out.
In Japan. Yes.
True. But it's still there. So you have options.
That's also, I'm not a fan of spin-off series of a story, because if you have a story planned, stick to that. Anyway.
They are sticking to that. There's 9 volumes of the light novel.
I know, it's quite impressive. But we get into this, and after the 4th episode, I realized what this show is actually about. It's not about an isekai story where a girl is trying to not get killed. It's a reverse harem.
Kind of.
But a reverse harem with a twist.
Yes.
All the girls fall in love with her too!
And she doesn't realize anything.
Yep.
That's why we call her Bakarina.
Because she's stupid. Stupid Katarina. Dense. Fine. Dense Katarina.
I mean, she's smart enough to pass her tests.
Yeah, I mean, she comes from a noble family. I don't think they were going to fail her.
She still passes the tests.
Yes, but they're also not going to fail her, because even if she goes to a European style school, she still goes to a Japanese school.
There's a lot of Japanese things in this.
Yes.
And it's not Europe.
Yep. It's that's so Japanese.
So, you were saying that looking back on the series, the first 4 episodes, which initially annoyed you, were then your favorite.
Yes.
You didn't like the rest of the episodes?
Oh, no. I liked them. I liked them a lot. I think the series was fantastic. It was bisexual joy.
Okay.
It is. Well, anyway, but I just enjoyed the first 4 more, because I felt like they had a lot more structure in terms of plot. And then they kind of have a bit in the middle where hijinks happens, and then they have plot again.
The hijinks confused me, because quite a few of the hijinks aren't actually in the manga.
Oh, anywhere?
Yeah,
oh.
They don't show up.
Huh.
So when those started happening, a bit of background here, I immediately went, this is amazing, and went off and read a bunch of the manga. And when I was convincing Jen to get started with it, we'd watched a couple episodes, and then she went off and read Volume 1 of the light novel.
Yes. So I read the light novel, and you read the manga.
I've not read the light novel, but I've seen the anime and read the manga. Jen hasn't read the manga, but she's read the light novel and seen the anime.
Yes. I flicked through a couple of the volumes of the manga, and my conclusion is that it's pretty much all the same story. At least the manga and the light novels seem to stick pretty close together in terms of what happens. More
or less, the anime was very similar to the manga as well, but there were what to me felt like filler episodes were not in the manga. So I guess for pacing reasons, to get to the end of the anime where they wanted to, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you removed one of those and went to... No, I guess the next event in the manga would have been a little too long. I don't know. It's a pacing issue. But did those events show up in the novel?
No. Well, actually, the first novel finishes where the first manga ends. So where the first 4 episodes of the anime end.
Oh, so with her
going to school.
So you're not sure yet?
Yes.
Okay.
So the first of everything seems to be her as a child learning the world, trying to work out how to avoid death flags, and then finally going to school, starting the game.
Yes.
But honestly, I think if you like the anime, you probably don't need to read the novel or the manga. Or if you do want to read either of them, you probably don't need to read the other one. Because it is the same story over and over again, and I think that kind of took away my enjoyment from reading the novel, because I'd already watched the story, so I knew what was going to happen.
On the flip side, I do still want to read the novel because there's 9 volumes of it.
Yes.
And I'm caught up on the manga, and the manga has not got 9 volumes of it. And I can already tell by looking at the cover of the novel that there's new characters being introduced.
Yes.
And I want to know who these new characters are.
Me too.
Because I'm very intrigued.
Knowing you could probably skip the first 2 novels then and start reading Volume 3.
We don't have Volume 3.
We could get Volume 3. I can't because I have to read things in order, so I need to read Volume 2 and then start Volume.
Yeah, I don't have that hang up, so...
Yeah, that's why I said knowing you could skip to Volume 3.
I might skim the novel just to see if some of those filler episodes do show up in it. So, one of the problems that I usually have with dating sim anime, especially ones that are based, harem anime in general, but especially ones that are based on dating sim, is that it usually feels like the main character, the dating sim main character, so not Bakarina in this case, but Maria, are just characterless. They are so helpless. Like, I loved Utano Prince Sama, but
the main character is just boring.
The main character has nothing for her. That one was entirely carried by the harem.
Well, that's probably because a lot of people just ship the boys together.
Even still. Like, her friend was great.
Yes, because she had personality.
I know. But, so in this one, I didn't get that same feeling with any of the characters.
Because they all have personality.
Yes. But even the main character from the dating sim, when Maria shows up, she's not just... oh my, I'm empty character for you to self-insert into.
Well, it's because she wasn't the main character. By twist of fate, Katarina became the main character.
Yes. How did you feel about the characters?
I really like them. I think Mary is my favorite.
Mary Hunt?
Yeah,
she's
Mary
amazing.
Hunt.
She carried the filler episodes for me.
Yes. Because she gets really jealous of everybody else, and she's like, another rival. I want to be in a boat with Katarina. Leave us alone.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, we're going to run away together and it's going to be great. And Katarina's like, oh, that's so sweet. We're great friends. And she's like, yeah, friends. It's so good.
I mean, it's just a matter of time before she shows up and goes, look at these matching white dresses I got us. Look at this cool church. Should we check it out?
Yeah.
Not a spoiler. I don't know if that happens or not, but it feels like it's gonna.
I hope it happens. Actually, I mean, so I'm kind of jumping ahead here, but who are you rooting for? I've already let loose that I want Mary. I don't
really ship when I read manga or watch anime.
What?
I know. It's weird. I just
enjoying.
Maybe I've been burned too many times, but I don't ship anymore.
Was it Nisekoi? Was it Nisekoi that burned you?
No, I never read Nisekoi.
I think you did.
I read the pilot chapter, which was great, and then I read the first actual chapter and went, oh my goodness, this is going to be garbage, and dropped it immediately.
Yeah, it was
the pilot chapter was great, though, or whatever you call them in this country. But I'm getting off subject.
Yeah, sorry.
I also have, best girls and best boys, of course.
Okay, so what did you think of the characters? Who are your best boys and best girls?
I mean, I already said Mary, because she's amazing.
She is.
I do really, really like Bakarina.
Yeah, she's really endearing.
She is, and there's just a lot of... She's a genuinely nice person, too. There's just a lot of little lines here, like when how she talks to her maid, or to the gardener, or things like that. Great. I love her.
I think that's why everybody falls in love with her, is that she's just a genuinely nice, sincere person.
And she's too dense to be duplicitous.
Duplicitous?
Yes.
What does that mean? Sneaky?
Sneaky. Cool. Yeah. They give her a sidekick in the spinoff who's amazing, but I don't know if she'll show up in this.
You read the spinoff already?
Yes.
Hi.
It's only 1 volume long so far.
Okay.
Anyway, they give her a sidekick in that who's amazing, and unfortunately she's not in the main series so far, which is a shame because I love her sidekick as well. All the characters in this are great. The boys, I gotta go with Alan. Alan's best boy. Younger brother Prince.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Nicole makes me laugh more because he's got the whole deadpan thing going on.
And you empathize with that?
Well, but you don't get enough of his character.
Well, he doesn't have a personality. I guess that's kind of the point.
He's great with Sophia because of Sophia, but on his own, I like his deadpan reactions to certain things. They do make me laugh a lot, but I think Alan is a better character.
Yeah, I think Alan on his own, but the prince and the younger brother
Oh, Giordo and Keith together. You're right.
Yeah, together.
They're pretty funny.
Hilarious.
Well, I mean, they're best friends.
Are they?
Yeah, they're always doing things together.
Yeah, they get along so well.
They do.
It's amazing.
It is great. But they are kind of a package deal.
Yeah,
on his own,
you need them together.
Yeah, on his own, you got Keith, who's kind of a worrywart, and on his own, you got Giordo, who's kind of a playboy. And
yeah, but only a playboy for one woman.
Yes. Well, so was Jinguji and Utano Prince Sama.
Yeah.
But
combined. Oh, they got such great chemistry.
Combined, yeah. It's like, peanut butter and jelly.
Or like chocolate spread and sandwiches.
What? You Brits don't know how to make food.
Hypocrite.
Rude. Ooh, yeah. It is hard.
Wow, already just thinking about it?
Thank you, dear. No, but it is very much... Because I do like Sophia. She makes me laugh a lot, too. But Mary is just so strong. So strong.
Yeah.
And she's got such great plot.
She's got an amazing plot.
She does.
It's quite impressive.
Huge tracts of land.
So they've already announced season 2. Which
is great, but it's going to come out next year.
Well, that's fine. I mean...
With the way 2020 is going, there's not going to be a next year.
Ouch. Wow. Dark. Well, hopefully the anime industry will have worked out how to do it. They seem to manage to finish the series fine without too many issues. I guess.
I'm just saying that the Aztecs said 2012 when they should have said 2021.
Wow. Why you gotta be so... We're talking about HameFura, which is like the lightest, funniest, feel-good bisexual harem you could find, and
it's
you're
all
like...
about death flags.
But it's not about death flags. I've already said that. Urgh.
She's constantly worried.
She's worried about it, but she's an idiot. And she's dense. Sorry,
Rude.
She's dense. You throw her in a pond and she sinks.
That's why she's a swan boat.
But my point is that, anyway, yeah, not all roads lead to doom because they pretty much get rid of that trope fairly quickly.
She still works to avoid it, though.
Yes.
Speaking of working to avoid it, or death flags, so what did you think of the Council of Bakarinas?
They're fantastic. They do not appear in the novels as much as they do in the anime.
What?
I'm sorry to say.
Oh my god. I guess
because you don't have the visual...
The gag works better as a visual gag.
Yes. So I think it will work a lot better in the manga. But, they were great. She has a little inner monologue between 5
Bakarinas.
Five of herself, each dressed up differently and with slightly different personalities. It's so cute.
No, they're all dressed the same. There's the one who has a mustache, who is the leader of the council.
Yeah, they each of them have a slightly different...
And one wears glasses because she's
Yes.
smart Bakarina.
Yes.
But then you also have scared Bakarina, happy Bakarina, and...
Childish?
Or angry? Not sure who the last one is, but there is a last one in there.
Well, there's one that's like really easygoing.
Chill Bakarina, maybe?
Chillerina. So
we got chill Bakarina, smart Bakarina,
Chillerina, smart
happy
arena.
Bakarina, scared Bakarina, and then mustachio Bakarina.
Is that your nicknames or is that the internet nicknaming them?
I have not looked up anything on the internet regarding this.
Okay.
That is entirely what I'm calling them.
Okay. Mustacharina.
Yes.
Stacharina.
But what's great about it is that each of the Council of Bakarinas talks slightly different.
Mm.
And so when you have Mustachio Bakarina, she kind of uses the stereotypical Japanese old man voice for him.
The voice actress did a great job.
Yes. And I think, if I remember right, most of the voice actors and actresses changed between child and adult except for her.
Really?
I think she was the same.
Huh. I didn't know that. Speaking of consistency, I remember you pointed out that the artist for the light novel is also the artist who did the manga.
Which is rare, and I really enjoyed it.
Why is that rare, do you think? Or is it just...
I think it's rare because there's a big difference between being asked to draw 5 pages for a novel and being asked to draw 20 pages a month for a manga.
Mm.
I think and now that they're doing the spin-off as well, that's 40 pages a month.
Yeah, that artist is probably raking it in now. Well, I hope they are, because I think they do an amazing job. Yeah.
And it's really good art. Sometimes they'll pick up a light novel and the art will be serviceable at best.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty janky art in light novels, but I think I really like the art in this one.
Which reminds me, actually, speaking of art, the art in the anime was actually not bad.
There were definitely a few bits and places where there was massive quality drops.
Yes, but I've seen worse.
Oh, 100%. But it was noticeable in scenes. A couple of bits. It never goes full clamp, but there is definitely the occasional proportion issue among characters.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your issue with clamp and proportions. Just listen to our episode on Magical Girls if you want to hear Wes's rant about clamp.
They cannot draw anything older than a middle school girl in any way believably. They can't do it.
Anyway, so I actually thought the anime it wasn't, amazing. It wasn't like Studio Trigger level, bam, flash, boom, lots of action. But I thought what they did was quite nice. And the backgrounds are really pretty.
The background's really nice.
They're like watercolor-esque.
Yep. And I think for the story being told, it was more than serviceable.
Yes.
Because there weren't a lot of action scenes that needed wham, bam, flash.
And the other thing that really impressed me about the anime was the music. Not just the openings and the endings, but the background music was really good, and they did a great job making it fit the scenes.
Yes. And to kind of hang on the opening and ending a little bit, I mean, we liked that enough that we didn't skip it once.
No, we watched the opening and the ending every single time.
Yes.
It's so good.
It's so good. That closing music, Bad End.
And that's such a great way to name an ending song, Bad End.
For this show, yeah, 100%.
Which is all about bad ends.
Yeah.
Even though they don't have any bad ends. Wait.
She's going to get... It does... So I know you say it's not about that or anything, but occasionally she lets slip to other people. She'll be like, why are you doing this? She's like, oh, well, this is for when I get banished. And I'm like, why would you be banished?
Yeah.
Or they're like, why are you doing this? She's like, oh, for when I'm attacked. I'm like, when are you going to be attacked?
I think her maid has just given up at that point.
Her maid's amazing. Oh, Anne is a close runner-up for Best Girl.
Ooh.
And I really like her mom, too.
Oh, Bakarina's mom?
Bakarina's mom.
Yeah, she's pretty funny.
Oh, all the characters are so good in this.
Yes. Yeah, they really are.
Old Tom the gardener.
I think actually you see a lot more of their personalities in the novels. I don't know about the manga, but But one of the problem with the novels is that one of the reasons you see their personality is because the story is told from Bakarina's point of view, and then the second half of the chapter is exactly the same story told from the perspective of the character they're introducing for that chapter.
Oh, but it's the same chapter?
It's exactly the same chapter, yes. You actually get the story repeated. So I think that's handled probably better in the anime and the manga, but it does let you hear the inner monologue a lot more for characters that aren't her.
They do similar things in the manga sometimes, and that they will show a scene. And then I don't remember if this is a spinoff or not, but they're
we have the manga right here.
Yeah, but they're at a party. I just give an example. They're at a party, and someone bumps into her and spills wine on her, and she spills wine on their dress or something. She's like, "Oh my goodness, let me help you!" And she goes and tries to help him get the wine out there and all that. And the person's like, "This is Katarina Claris or Claes. Why is she helping me? Why is she not furious? What's going on here? I don't know how to react. Thank you." And
it must be the spinoff then.
But then it kind of cuts over to Giordo. Yeah, so it is a spinoff because it's when they're teens. And it cuts over to Giordo, who's kind of watching this scenario from afar. And he's like, oh, what is she up to now? She's going to make some issue. And then he sees how she reacts, and it's different from what he's expecting from how she normally does. It's like, And he goes over to step in and kind of help out in the situation. But you do get that kind of someone else's reaction to what happened. But they don't spend a lot of time on it, so I don't think it's as egregious.
See, I think that would actually be more interesting because... one of the reasons why I didn't think the bad ends were that much of a threat is because she pretty much fixes it by becoming friends with everyone in their childhood. So if there's the spin-off where she jumps in when she's already a teenager, then she's never made friends with everyone, and so she already has that reputation of being a villainess. And so I think that would be a more interesting dynamic because the bad end flags are more likely to be present than they are in the main series.
I mean, it's good, and I recommend it.
Okay, I will give it a read. On top of everything else.
Well, there's only one volume at the moment, so...
Okay.
Not that much at the moment.
Yeah, but you know how good I am at reading manga. I.e. bad at reading manga.
Well, we have piles of it.
We do. That's not something you want to admit on a podcast, that you have piles.
Why do you think I'm sitting on a cushion?
This is why we can't have nice things.
We have this manga, we have this light novel, we have this anime, and this was a nice thing.
That is true. It was a nice thing. They better not mess up season 2.
Oh, they better not. I would be so put out. Especially because the way that the manga is going, and I need to read the novels, there are interesting things afoot.
Ooh. feetsies.
Yes.
See, actually, that's one of the things that I find really annoying about light novels, Japanese light novels specifically, is that it often feels like how, like, fanfiction.net or original stories written by you when you were a 14-year-old. Not that I ever... Anyway. But in the fact that it seems like a lot of people just start writing a story, and then they think, oh, I should probably put a plot in this because now it's getting popular. And then the story kicks off at probably about volume 3. Whereas with this, it actually feels like the person who wrote it had a plan. So maybe they'd only originally planned to do volume 1, and then that did pretty well, so then they did volume 2, and then it exploded. So I'm hoping that it's actually got plot and it's going somewhere.
Well, not to give spoilers.
Good.
Because we're avoiding that.
Yes.
But the game ends.
Like any otome romance dating sim game ends after 2 years?
Usually, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You know, you have the big final event and all that and all those types of things. But they don't just kind of keep drifting on and on and on. You have kind of a quick bridge chapter almost that is used to set up new events and then start almost another plot. So I need to see how it goes. Is this going to be something that they just kind of drag on and on and on and on? Or is it going to be, you know, multiple events? In a way, it kind of feels like, you know, a role-playing adventure. You have your story that the DM makes, and you go for a few weeks, and then that's finished, and they got to make a new story, and they tell it, and so on. And that I've always felt was the best way to do it, because you can have these little fun adventures and things. And that's what it feels like they're doing. And I need to read the novel to see how it goes. But in the manga, I'm enjoying it muchly.
Okay. I hope so, because, I mean, I think volume 1 was very nicely bookended. No pun intended. Actually, yeah, pun intended. And then from what I've seen from volume 2, it seems to have a contained story. And then I'm hoping that every single novel will have a contained story where stuff that happens at the start is concluded by the end, as opposed to other light novels where hijinks happens, but no plot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't just want to watch characters doing silly things. That's why, like, the filler episodes in the middle of the anime, I was like, this is kind of unneeded, because I already know that you can tell the story without these chapters, because I've already read it in the manga.
Yeah, 100%.
But enough gushing over an amazing anime. Now it's time to put your feet to the coals and make you answer the difficult questions.
Well, I already said Mary.
No, different difficult question.
Oh, okay. What?
Fugo Keiji, Balance Unlimited, B&A, Brand New Animal, HameFura, Name Too Long to Repeat. Go back to the beginning of the episode and listen to it again. What was your favorite of the 3 for spring 2020?
I think the fact that we read the manga and the light novel, HameFura.
Yeah.
HameFura, we watched Sunday on Netflix every time it came out.
Yeah, which was also a big difference from B&A.
Yes, because B&A came out half the series and then the other half of the series.
And this one, they dragged it out each week, and each week we're like, we need to see next week.
Yes! I think that's why it was so good, was because we had that, like you said during the B&A episode, we were able to enjoy it week by week. I'm sorry, everyone who wasn't able to enjoy this week by week, or just storm through the whole thing. But anyway, it definitely added a lot more to the tension.
Yeah, I'm still kind of, not really riding a high, but I'm still very much in a, well, what happens next? I need to figure it out.
I need to know what happens next.
Whereas I do think, like, for instance, for B&A, we just picked up the prequel novel.
Yeah.
That's been released.
In Japanese.
And I'm interested in it, but I'm also kind of done with it.
Yeah.
B&A happened, it was done, and it was good, and it was exciting.
But it's over.
But
then again, the B&A was designed to be over.
True.
Whereas HameFura is designed to never end, because as long as they pump out light novels, they'll continue to make money.
Yeah, but I don't want that.
I don't want it either. I'm hoping the author has an end in plan and puts in an end.
I'm hoping the author does not. If the author keeps writing, I don't want them to stay in magic school. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, because otherwise they'll just go on for too long and they're like eternal 16-year-olds.
And I hate that. I mean, if they want to keep writing because they have more stories to tell and the characters grow in age and all that, great, fine, whatever. But I don't want them in magic school by the time I get to volume 9.
Yeah.
Especially when you've already established that, they go through like almost a full year of schooling in the anime.
Or in the first volume when they go through... Actually, I think they probably go through a year and then time skip.
Yeah. But, yeah, so just don't Simpsons it and we'll be good.
Well, don't Attack on Titan it.
Never read it. Stayed safe from that.
Yeah, but the fact that apparently he had an ending and then was like, oh, this is popular, so I'm going to not do that ending anymore and keep it going until it dies.
Boo.
Boo. So yeah, good recommendation, Wes.
Hooray!
It's just a shame that everything from the summer season looks terrible.
There's
like 5 sequels.
There's nothing.
There's 5 sequel anime. Why are there so many sequels?
Wasn't summer supposed to be the season that like has everything? Maybe this is holdover from the fact that studios are having problems right now.
No, I think they'd already planned it. They normally plan their anime like a year in advance.
Well, then it's just horrible luck and everything looks horrible.
2020 is the worst.
Time to catch up on our backlog.
You mean like all these HameFura volumes?
Yeah, I've got to read the HameFura novel. I've got to read the new chapters of the manga as it comes out.
Got work to do.
I'm swamped.
Well, that was recommendations. My Otaku Spouse. I was Jen.
I was Wesley.
Ooh, and you can catch us at Anniebros Creative on Twitter, as well as AnnieBrosCreative.com.
Where you'll also find our sister podcasts, Real Japan, where they look at live-action versions of anime and manga, and Shin Annie Bros, where they do deep dives into whatever catches their fancy.
Which is normally everything.
Yes.
Yay!
Bye.
Bye.